Football on Radio Show Live once again. Hello,
Hi.
guys.
Hi, Prue. How
This
far?
Hello.
this your smile is captivating.
Hi. God. As much as I am hearing the
So I should
positive
not-
word,
The positive.
I know that he did not mean it that way.
So I cannot compliment you.
I just know that he
Instead of
did not
this,
mean
just
it.
simply
Let's
say
just say thank
thank
you and
you.
move on. Just say thank you. Let's.
Or
It's just for peace
don't
sake.
Yes, for moving on sake.
talk
Okay, let's
finish.
It's because it's in his character. So,
Just
like,
for moving on sake.
I have
Okay.
a very, very, very good character. I mean,
Says
very,
who?
very in capital letter. Good too in capital
Anthony,
letter.
I've thought you've changed too.
Change.
The first season, like you kept leaving us speechless. I thought you've grown that, and just again, you're leaving me
So you are
speechless
trying to
again.
insult me. I always leave you speechless.
I'm just saying,
saying-
it's not an insult. It's even a good thing in a negative
I am building
way,
on my
but,
character. I'm building on my character.
Oh, yeah, enough with Anthony.
Ray, it's so
Yes.
lovely to
It's
have you on
always
set.
lovely to have you here, bro.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
your boy Tony Gansky,
Anton.
aka
Anthony,
husband
please, it's
material in the
And we don't
building.
really care for the husband
Husband
material part of
material
it.
in
not
the
by
building.
Diaz.
It's by
Thank you so much.
It's
That's
by-
hard. Can
it's
we
by
continue?
us.
Okay. So we were discussing character building.
nice one.
We're
Sakpa,
talking
nice one.
character
Now Sakpa,
building,
your
yes.
cousin.
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
I'm listening
character
to you.
building. So, what entails character building? How do you build your character? You see, a lot of times the thing is that you find on the streets that you meet someone and they will say, "Oh no, this person doesn't have character," or like, "Oh, this person has a really terrible character," or "This person has a bad character." Although sometimes you do know that it's just people's opinions that don't really have justification.
Mhm.
However, as much as that is possible, we also know that a lot of times it is because the person really doesn't have character.
Now that is where you
So
see
what
a guy
is it
after
having a character?
no matter how beautiful a girl is, you go see a guy. She fine no, but she no get sense. It's likely it's a common
It's the
thing.
same thing.
Now
That's
let's
why
go
you
and
see
talk about
it's
the
the same
regular
thing.
market people, not guy and boy issue things.
No, I'm
Let's
just trying
leave
to
guru
I was-
just
I
trying
was-
to
I-
bring-
I was going-
I'm just trying-
issue.
I was
I'm
going
just
to
trying
return it to
bring-
him. That
I'm
will
just trying to
continue.
bring an
I was going to
instance
return
now.
it to him and tell him that the same thing that the girl will see again. Like, oh no, he's packaged, he's kind, he's nice, but he does not have character. Let's continue. Yes, so
and-
we're not talking about that.
all
People have
right.
kept
So
me quiet
yes,
now.
with that first example, right? Most of the time, if you no get character, you no get character. It's not people's opinion; it's their encounter with you. 10 people can't lie about you for no reason. First of all, they won't get paid by saying you have a bad character. Neither will they get paid for saying you have a good character.
Really nice.
So if the first impression people get about you is that you're being rude, then you're just being rude. I don't feel comfortable people saying you meet one side of somebody, you meet another side. No, why are you two-faced? Why can't it be that at any given point of the day
This
when
is who
somebody
you are.
meets you, they meet that one face of you, and that's the character building.
Yeah.
Becoming
Funny enough,
you.
Interestingly enough, my sister was saying something of this nature. She's like, she has this friend, and the friend is like, "You're only my friend when it suits me." Okay, it's not like literally that's what she says, but that's the behavior. That's
the behavior.
behavior
Yeah.
she gives out. It's like, on this day I'm cool with you, on another day I'm not cool with you. So stay off.
I
So-
have friends like that
yeah.
too.
So
that this one is even a weird one, but when somebody is nice to you, like when it's okay, convenient for them to like, there's this particular friend of mine, this person is the kind of person that money makes him happy. So when he has money, he's happy, and when he doesn't have, you see the bad side of him. And for me, I this person is just friend. It's not even relationship, it's not dating. And it was a little bit toxic for me at some point, because I'm not that kind of person.
yeah.
I don't care whether you have money or not. You don't have to be nice to me when you have money or when you don't have money. And these are some of the things that are called character. This is your character. What is the kind of person that they'll be able to say, Rachel is this, Anthony is this, and Prudence is this. What is the side of you that people always meet? What is that impression about you? That is who you are. There's nothing about you've met this other side of me, you've met that other side of me. I might not be the most smiling looking person, but let it be that when somebody approaches me, I'm polite. When somebody walks up to me, the person should be able to say she's polite. She might not look friendly, but she's a nice person. When 10 people are saying that about you, then perhaps you just have this look that you might not always be wearing a smile on. But when people come close to you, the first impression is that you're a nice person. That is your character, regardless of whether you have a nice looking face or not.
You know, human beings, characters and human beings are inseparable. Like, they work hand in hand. And which is why the advantage of what a good character gives you, like, it's imaginable. You can't imagine it. Now, let's take the instance of Esther in the Bible. Esther was just like a normal, should I say, a normal girl.
Yeah.
Normal girl. But then it was her character that made her met with king. Look at Joseph. If not for his character, he wouldn't have been that famous, that rich and that wealthy in life as at then. Like, character goes a long way. It tells people more about you. Like, it makes people even respect you the more. Like, it pushes you to high places that on a normal day you would not even think of. But then if you exhibit bad characters and all of those things, you are likely to miss so many opportunities. You're likely to come across opportunities that will, like, life-changing opportunities, and then you just miss them.
So
all because of one
bad character.
One bad character or the other.
So it's like we're dwelling on negative characters, but then how do you build a character? Because it's all about character building. And for me, there's no one way in particular to build a character, because it's a process. The person I was 10 years ago is not the same person I am today. I must have been building myself to be able to get to where I am. For example, like, if you realize that, you know what, a lot of people are saying I don't smile too much, then you start working on smiling. When people say you're rude, then you work on becoming more polite and all of that. And you made an example with Joseph. He became, because he wasn't just born that way.
Of course,
okay,
he wasn't.
and this is one of the number one way which I feel it needs maturity in Christ, but then it is another way. That is, you have a vision. God has given you a vision about yourself. For Joseph, is that at an early age he knew he was going to become something great, and he already know subconsciously or consciously that I have to build a character that will warrant me to become a king. So when he was faced with challenges that could take that away from him, such as a temptation from Potiphar's wife, he flee, because he knew that if I fall into this, I can't become great. The same thing when he found himself in prison, he became humble, because he knows humility is the only thing that can take me out of this place and to the next place. So if you find yourself in a position where you are matured in Christ and God have told you this is what I want you to do on earth, then your character now lies. You build your character around what God wants you to become. If you are to be a servant, you have to build the character of a servant. If you're to become a king, you have to build the character of a king. If you're to become a leader, you have to build the character of a leader. If you're supposed to be a missionary, then you have to build the character of a missionary. Whatever it is that God has told you that this is what I have for you, then you have to build your character around that.
You know, coming from your examples, in terms of in case you want to be something else or probably want to be something in the future, like all of these things, all of these feats have their own different approaches and have their own way of building characters and all of that. You know, one way to build your character or to build a character is when you self-examine yourself. Examine yourself and ask questions, just like the one you asked earlier. What are the things that people are saying that I don't do right? Like, what are those things that I do that usually get people off me, or probably I usually do and then get them tensed and all of those things? Or if possible, if you're having issues or struggling with some of those things that you are likely to do people that they are not really cool with, You can ask a close friend or friends that are close to you, and then you discuss with them. Please, bro, how far? What are those things that you feel I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing, or stuff like that? And believe me, with all of those things, with all of those examination and observations, you can work on yourself.
You know, one thing that's most important is that before you kill your conscience, and I'm saying before you kill your conscience alone tells you when, where, and how to behave. What do I mean? It's like this: if you're doing the right thing, you don't need nobody to come and tell you what you're doing is right, because your conscience tells you.
Yes.
If you're doing the wrong thing, you don't need nobody to tell you.
You don't need anybody.
You're doing the wrong thing, because your conscience would tell you that. So as much as you're doing whatever you're doing, as much as you're doing something that is of value, of worth, and you're doing it with the whole of your heart, and your conscience is clear, and your conscience is not triggered, like it's not being triggered for any reason, you forge ahead and you continue to do it. As you do these things deliberately, you find that over time your character is being built. And one thing that is key that we always don't always remember is that for you to build the correct kind of character, a character that is precious, there's process.
There is
and this process is not easy.
It's not easy.
It's like the illustration you just gave about Joseph. One thing I found interesting is that although God told Joseph in a dream that you're going to be this mighty,
Great.
He did not tell him the process.
He didn't tell him the process.
So as much as you have envisioned and you are convinced that this is the path that God is leading you to, it is key that you continue to just walk on the path that He has laid before you. Not focusing too much or solely on what He wants on that goal that you have, but more on who He is and the being that He is. And because you're focusing on who He is and the being that He is, it's easy for you to draw strength from Him, and it's easy for you to draw character.
It's true. And you know, as we're talking, another way I believe for you to build character, because this whole knowing vision purpose takes a lot of maturity, it's not that easy, is knowing what you want to be associated with and what you don't want to be associated with.
True.
For example, I don't want to be known as a liar. So I build my character to not being a liar.
Yes.
I don't want to ever be associated. I'm giving instances of you building your character. I don't want to be associated with stealing. I don't want to ever be accused or be in any situation where I will be a suspect of something being missing. And then you make sure you don't. I don't want to be known as a gossiper. You make sure you don't do that. I don't want to be known as someone who cheats, whom people can't trust you on a deal. Their money must have K-leg. I don't want to be the person that when I come to you saying, lend me money, I will give it to you in 3 days' time. It becomes 3 years later and forgotten.
I don't want to be that person that at the end of the day, you would hear question. You will be hearing, let me explain.
Exactly.
I don't want to be in that situation and I have to be saying, let me explain.
So you line out those things that, you know what, I don't want to be associated with this. I want to be associated with this. And you work on becoming what you want to be associated with. And the one that you want it far away from you, you take them far away from you. And before you know it, you've made the person you want to be. And tomorrow, somebody will say, you know, Prudence, if you give her money, you will meet the same mint 5 years later. Something like that, so that you will be able to be known by a particular thing.
And interestingly, one key thing and one important thing is that as much as the world hates that you have certain principles and you have certain characters, there's one thing: they still value you. They want you to do some things for them because they know that at the end of the day they will get the worth of their money, the worth of their time, because they have invested in this person and they know that this person would deliver. So in as much as you know that there are situations that they will not like what you're doing, but you know that what you're doing is towards you and God. So you build your character to that aspect, because there's nothing else that matters apart from this two.
You know,
you yourself and your God, between you and your God, what kind of relationship do you have with him? What kind of character have you built? Like, as I said earlier, you draw your character from the person that you have put ahead of you. For instance, if you have a mentor that is rude, if you have a mentor that is
exactly, I was going to talk about mentorship.
A mentor that is rude and mean to people. Over time, you become that
also,
and that's why I said it's key that you draw from the right mentor.
Exactly, when it comes to mentorship, because it is one way to build character. Also, mentorship is a perfect way, in a lot of sense, to build character. However, we should not put mentorship as that big figure out there. I can be mentored by Prudence and certain things. For example, you're always punctual to work. For instance, I can be like, you know what, I want to pick this from you, and you become my mentor when it comes to work discipline. Or I'm not yet superior, and then I like the way my head of unit talks to me, like, which is polite and all of that. Tomorrow I'll be like, when I find myself in a position of being the head, I should be able to talk politely to whoever is under me, because being harsh doesn't change your position at all. Yes, even if you talk calm, please go and buy this, the person must do it. I don't have to shout and say, go and buy this thing for me. No. You learn it. Mentorship is at every level, as long as you put yourself in that position.
Exactly.
I want to ask, can we differentiate characters with threat?
Like somebody's trait.
Yeah, like your let's say your family, something you inherited from your parent or your mom or your
you know that their family
there have been
traits.
some instances where you see a child, or let's say for a child who lies a lot or who humanize a lot,
and you see that there's a parent that lies a lot.
True.
Yeah.
So the problem is, this is what happens along the way. This child tended to build his character, or this young person ended up building his or her character towards what he has constantly been saying.
Although I like Anthony saying something about trait, I know of people that have inherited anger, like they are always angry
from their parents,
and you realize that in the father's family they are always angry. They are quick temper or short temper. Or from the mother's side, they are always quick to get angry. I think if you come to a realization that you might have gotten certain character as a result of a trait, like it's not necessarily you building your character like that, you just find yourself being like that. Since number one is the fact that you have recognized that is already one step to becoming a better person, then you start finding ways of saying, you know what, I can't let this character dominate me, in as much as it's kind of a family thing, because truly there are things that are
family
genetic.
I think
let me put it like that.
It boils down to determination and choice too. Okay, let's give an illustration of a father who has two sons and happens to be a drunkard. Now, the children obviously knows that their the father is a drunkard.
Drinking can be a trait. I'm
just saying. I'm getting.
At the end of the day, as I said, it's all about choices. See, the moment that you notice that your character is tilting towards the negative, and we're talking building character, it could be either negative. Some people purposely build their character
to be like that.
Yeah. So it's just that you have determined in your heart that this is the path that I want to take. This is who I want to become at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what, and I'm trying to wrap up this show right now. It doesn't matter
because
allow me to talk.
It doesn't matter what you have seen or what you have not seen. It's what it all boils down to, what is laid in your heart to do.
It's your
So
determination and
what
choice.
we are charging you to do today is that as much as you want to build your character and you're taking these steps, you're taking mentorship, you're taking you're being deliberate about it. Just make sure that you're doing it positively in the right path. And as I said, drawing your character from God. And it was really, 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 really nice doing this show. And I don't want to leave.
I don't want to leave because Anthony was trying to shake a table that is very sensitive. And
yes, and I didn't allow him to do that because I know we don't have the time to tackle that. So now we're gonna say bye.
Yes, goodbye.
And see you next time.
Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
Bella, ciao.
No, it's just ciao.
It's just ciao.
No Bella.
No
No
Bella.
Bella.
No Bella.
Just ciao.